right, well, good morning, everyone, and happy Tuesday to you. Today is Tuesday, November the 14th, 2023. This year is trotting on down to an end just like a Thanksgiving turkey. Yes, indeed. Absolutely. Y'all do know we're getting ready for Thanksgiving, right? All right, okay, I thought I'd open up the meeting that way and just kind of remind you this is the season for giving. Absolutely. We're calling our meeting to order this morning, and we are super excited to have our own Reverend Thomas Hall from the Crossroads United Methodist Church here to give us the invocation. Pastor Hall, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'd like you to join me in prayer. Amazing and holy God, we pause at the beginning of this time together to acknowledge your greatness, to acknowledge our need for you. Your ways are higher than our ways. We need your wisdom and understanding. I pray, Father, that you would inspire thoughts as this meeting goes on, that each may even consider insight from you that has never been considered before, that would be for the good of your people. Enable Rockdale to rise and to be a shining light for all the world. And we thank you, God, for your public servants who lead us, who serve us, and who are here to do great things. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
Friends, please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you to Pastor Hall, our friend on the north side of Rockdale County, Highway 138 North. We certainly do appreciate all of what you and the folks out at your congregation at Crossroads United Methodist Church do for the people of Rockdale County. I'm well aware how you all serve to bless so many of our residents, particularly those in the northern district, not limited, but those in the northern district of Rockdale County. Commissioners, you hear me talk all the time that we as government can't do it alone. So we certainly do appreciate the congregation and the leadership out at Crossroads United Methodist Church. Y'all, let's give Pastor Hall and Crossroads another round of applause. Okay, we've got a robust and full agenda this morning, Commissioners, yes. And Executive Director Rutledge, talk to us.
I do. I want to talk this morning. So, Mr. Chairman and the Commissioners, I know that's not any different than any other day. However, I did want to point out that this morning we do have 3 presentations on the agenda. We weren't able to get them all 3 uploaded to the website, so I wanted to make sure that I read them out loud.
Okay.
So the first one would be for the Bike Share Program presentation for Two Wheel Fitness. This will be Director Jason Redmond through Parks and Recreation. The second one will be a Chief Warrant Officer George Ellsworth LeBlanc Remembrance Day proclamation. And then the last one will be the Equal Business Opportunity Program overview presentation by CFO Michelle Irizarry in the Finance Department.
Very good, and I'm certainly appreciative of you going down the list. I don't see a member of the LeBlanc family here just yet, and I think they are on the way. So we may have to shuffle that one just to give them an opportunity to get here on time this morning. So they are aware and they should be en route. But I see that one is listed as number 2. And maybe during the presentation of our Dynamite Director Jason Redmond with his bike presentation, he may take a while and get us a real thorough bike presentation, and perhaps it'll be on time. I just bought us a few moments just then.
Right.
Did you pay attention?
I was going to say, if you did it, then we'd be here too.
All right.
You could practice riding the bike around.
Yes.
All right, very good, very good. So first up is Director Redmond. Thank you, Commissioner Washington. All right.
Good morning, Chairman. Good morning, Madam Commissioners. Last week, Tuesday, Parks and Recreation added another amenity to the community, and we had a ribbon cutting at CE Steel Community Center. We implemented into the community two-wheel fitness bike share program. And as we were getting this bike share put in, a lot of people were passing by and asking, what is that? So I came today to tell them what it is with a short PowerPoint. The benefits of this program, naturally it promotes positive health and wellness to the community. It introduces biking to a new demographic. And I think one of my biggest takeaways from this is it's a gateway to active transportation for the community. I've said in the ribbon cutting that oftentimes some of the residents have obstacles or challenges getting back and forth to the store, just a simple grocery store run. With this bike share program, you're able to get on the bicycle, ride it on the trail as far as you can go to get to where you need to be to maybe grab a few groceries or items from the store, whatever you may need. The bikes do come equipped with baskets, as you can see, and I did bring one because it's better than the picture. Brought the actual bike to the meeting today just so we can see how it looks in person. Most of all, this bike sharing program is fun. So that's just some of the highlights of the program, and like I said, the biggest takeaway for me is the gateway to the active transportation. Next slide, please. The program highlights it's a turnkey bike system, which means that everything is taken care of from the perspective of maintenance, logistics, how to collect the bikes, where they belong, which kiosk the bikes belong to, which kiosk the bikes go to. There's an app associated with renting the bikes. If you walk up to the kiosk, there's step-by-step instructions, and it's in the next picture. You can go to the next slide. There are step-by-step instructions at every kiosk. If you see that tower to the left of each bike rack, it tells you how to it's a QR code you can scan. It tells you how to download the app, what to do once you download the app, how to add your information in, and how to rent the bicycles and safely return them. There are three station locations. Station 1 is Johnson Park, Station 2 is Wheeler Park, and Station 3 is CE Steel. Next slide, please. Everyone wants to know how much does it cost to rent the bikes. Where there are options to renting the bikes. There is an annual membership, which is $25, and that's optional. There's a pay-as-you-go program, which is $1.50 for 30 minutes. And each person who rents the bike are allowed to rent a maximum of 2 rentals per user. So when you swipe your card, you can only grab 2 bikes off of the kiosk at a time. We will not allow it to go past 2 for operational and safety reasons. We don't want one person renting 5 bikes or 4 bikes because it's a little harder to keep up with them at that.
So what's the benefit of the annual membership?
The annual membership, if someone wants to ride it, let's say you have someone who wants to ride 20 times per month opposed to someone who just want to ride it once a month, they'll get more bang for their buck.
Unlimited rides.
Yes.
Okay.
If they wanted to, unlimited. If they wanted to ride it,
Sign me up for the
annual.
$25 annual. I mean,
Yeah.
just makes sense. It's just, if we've got a citizen that's out there that's interested in participating in this program, I think everybody's excited about this program. The $25 membership is like getting a Breeze card with
Right.
MARTA. You don't have to worry about the frequent trips to the Falcons game or up to the north side of Atlanta to see the Braves or any type of activity. You get the Breeze card, now you can just go. And when that one expires, you get another one. So the same thing makes sense with this 25, and I think that's a real nominal fee, by the way, too. Because y'all, let me say this, Director, Commissioners, you haven't talked about the maintenance of these bicycles. Some folks gonna ride these bikes who've been riding bikes for a long time. Some folks gonna ride these bikes who hadn't rode a bike in a long time. and there's subject to be a few bleeps and blunders and maybe a couple of accidents and a couple of flat tires and dings and dings, and those bikes are gonna have to be repaired. There is a cost involved in the repairing and the maintenance of those bicycles. So we have to think globally. Give us a little bit more about all of that.
Yes, sir, you are correct. And with this program, the bikes come with GPS on them. So some of them may not make it back to their kiosks. That happens.
And you know where they are.
Yes. And so we're able to find them and locate them. We have an assigned bike mechanic to the program. So it is his job. He comes out periodically, does checks, make sure the bikes are kept up properly, and make sure that everyone is where it should be as far as all 10 bikes being accounted for. We have a total of 10 bicycles. There are 3 kiosks. Each kiosk allows you to place 10 bikes per kiosk. So that's actually a total of 30 bikes. We are starting with 10 bikes with hopes that the community will pick up on this quickly and more, and we will add bikes as we see fit. Any questions?
Commissioner Washington, come on
Next
now.
slide.
I know you're going to talk about these bikes.
I don't have any questions, but I love it. I love, well, it's a mode of transportation, especially for people that might need to go and just pick up some groceries right quick and come home, or those of us who need to exercise in a different way and we don't want to invest in a bicycle because we hadn't been on one in a long time, so we need to try it out
First, right.
and let y'all pay for the dings.
Yeah.
But this is absolutely amazing. It goes to the forward thinking of the county. It's right in line with the live, work, play motto that we're trying to create in Rockdale County, the livable communities. This is excellent. So thank you so much once again. Parks and Rec is on it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes,
We go to the last slide.
I'm super excited about it. It's been about probably at least 40 years or more since I've been on a bike.
See, this
but,
is what I'm talking about.
But I've been thinking about it. First off, I've got to go get a helmet. But second off, I've been thinking about maybe I could just ride around the parking lot.
Start
Just
off
start
slow.
off.
Start off.
Yeah.
See if I can still ride a bike. I used to ride a lot. But I did have one question. So if someone rides it to the store and parks it outside and goes into the store to pick up a few things, is there some way for them to lock it while they go inside?
So there are locks coming that we're going to add to the bikes for those reasons, for people to be able to safely secure them. But again, if that happens and someone takes the bike and ride it off and they're not supposed to, it has a GPS tracker on it, we can locate the bike. We're also able to shut off if a person called and said, hey, somebody took it at 1, I stopped at 1, at 1:30, I stopped at 12, and it ran their cart for an extra hour, we can go back and have the charges reversed. So we have total control over everything associated with the bicycles as far as all the issues that may come up with that. On that tower that I referenced earlier, there's a customer service number on it. So you would not call Johnson Park. I know everybody's used to calling Johnson Park for everything. You would not call Johnson Park. But if you did, we would just reroute you to the number. But there is a customer service number that's already associated on the kiosk. Yep. Just to point out some of the safety features of the bike, it does have a headlight, a little headlight in the front and the tail light.
It has a
And it has the
horn.
bell. That is my favorite feature, Commissioner Williams, with the bell
Yes.
that's on the bike, to let someone know that you're riding and you're coming, to look out behind you. Any other questions? Nope. All right. Next slide, please. So while we were doing the ribbon cutting last Tuesday, we were also summoned to receive an award. Let me back up really quick. I'm sorry. Can you go back to the last slide? I want to properly thank the Board of Commissioners and the Tandem Mobility for all your support and assistance for this project. You guys' unwavering support to Parks and Recreation is it does not go unnoticed. It's very appreciative. I say all the time, I have peers in other counties and cities who does not have such strong support from their board. So again, I want to say thank you. I also would like to thank Mr. Leah Jackson. She was the lead for this project. Raise your hand, ma'am. She's
Come on up here. Yes, come on up here so we can. Absolutely. So take to the microphone. Listen, a big hand, a round of applause again to Director Redmond for his leadership. But I always like to pause when a leader can step aside and recognize those people who are the project managers who are actually putting their hand to the plow and leading the project. So Leah, tell us about this project. You've had this from A to Z. I got you off guard the other day, but you ready this morning. Talk to us.
I don't know if I'm ready this morning either. But like I said before, at the ribbon cutting, the project, it was a little tough, but I got through it. Just trying to think about the community and what best suits them, and even as far as like placing them at the locations, where at the location do we need to place it? How is it convenient for them? So it was a learning experience. So I was grateful to be put on the project because it allows me to grow. But most importantly, it just shows how much we care about the community and how much we want to give a positive outlet for them. So I was grateful for that.
And you did an excellent job this morning. Y'all give her a round of applause. As often as we talk, Executive Director Holmes, about succession planning here throughout Rockdale County and all of our departments and divisions, when I think about young people who are a part of our team, and she talked about the ability to grow and to be able to lead this project, Commissioner Washington, Commissioner Williams, at some point in the near future, she is going to be in a role of a deputy director and perhaps even a director. But giving them this opportunity to stand in the spotlight, particularly for those projects and how they become an asset to the overall government, is major for what we're doing in Rockdale County. I'm going to be talking about this a lot as we go with the various departments, because we have so many gems of hidden talent tucked inside of our department, and sometimes they don't get recognized. We want to make sure that we pull them to the forefront and we highlight those people who are working behind the scenes and putting their hand to the plow. Talk to us.
Yes, sir. And Commissioner Williams, just to further answer your question, so if someone does stop in the app, you can actually lock the bike from the app. So it'll lock, the brake will grab the wheel so that you can't turn. Yeah.
Because I just didn't want anybody to get
I know you don't want anybody to take the bike while you're on it. So just to further answer that. So next slide, please. Thank you. So also last Tuesday, we were afforded with the opportunity to be the recipient of Most Outstanding Program in the state of Georgia for our Hoops After Dark program. We were honored by Georgia Recreation Parks Association. And again, it just speaks volume to the work that the team does in Parks and Recreation. Out of all the counties in Georgia, we were the recipient for this award. So it's a lot of hard work that goes into it, a lot of planning, just a lot of diligence and a lot of commitment. So we were able to receive that award. So while we were there, also GRPA acknowledged individuals while we were there. And I'm going to take the blame for this because we did not get clear communication from them about whether or not they were going to honor these two people that works for us. And I asked them to come this morning. I said, I need y'all to pick the bike up. So they think they're just here just because they had to bring the bike. But Matthew Rogers has been working in the field of Parks and Recreation for 25 years. And
Wow.
He was acknowledged at the state conference last week. They awarded Matt a pin that has 25 years on it, and also Marion Wink Lester was also acknowledged for 45 years.
45 years. 45 years. Woo! 45 years. Wow.
So, Chairman and Madam Commissioners, I do want to say, you talking about institutional knowledge a lot. These two here,
Yes.
institutional knowledge.
Yes.
There were only two other people at the, and if you look at the slide, at Marion Lester's slide, there's only two people there for 45 years. It was one other person for 50 and one person for 60. And listen, 45 years, you just don't see that anymore. 25 years, they sometimes when I go out and they ask me something, I'm asking them. I say, what do you think? I don't know what you think.
Right.
So I did want to acknowledge them. And yes, I did get you, Wayne. He does not like being put on the spot. But I really just wanted to say I appreciate you guys and thank you for your hard work. Thank you. Thank you, Chairman, Madam Commissioners. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Redmond. That is huge. When we think about the time and service and all of this presentation from the director this morning, the bike presentation, the young lady who spearheaded the project, Then both of the gentlemen who have put in the time and service to Rockdale County, 25 years, 45 years. Director Redmond is absolutely correct. People don't put it in like that anymore. It's hard to find folks. Let's give them all another round of applause. We are super blessed in Rockdale County. We've got more good news this morning, and I want to give a prelude, and as I'm giving a prelude of this proclamation that I'm asking Commissioner Williams to read on our behalf, and just before she reads it, let me just say this and preface it, because this past weekend we celebrated Veterans Day here in Rockdale County. We partnered up with the Walk of Heroes organization in Rockdale County, and we celebrated Veterans Day for all of our veterans here in Rockdale County, and of course all across the country. One of our residents who was an active and very avid participant in our annual Walk of Heroes event for our veterans each year is the late Chief Warrant Officer, Mr. George LeBlanc. And Mr. LeBlanc and his family have been residents here in Rockdale County for many, many years. And Chief LeBlanc put in over 30 years of service with the United States Navy. But I'm going to yield to Commissioner Williams. She's going to read the proclamation. And after she reads the proclamation, his family is here, and we're going to ask them to come up and receive it on behalf of Chief LeBlanc.
So I appreciate you asking me to read this. My husband was also in the Navy, and I'm guessing that it says you've been married for a long time. Vietnam War was going on at that time. So we have something in common. This is a proclamation. Whereas Chief Warrant Officer retired George Ellsworth LeBlanc passed on from this life on Saturday, October 28th, 2023, and whereas Mr. LeBlanc was born in Okmulgee, Oklahoma on March 30th, 1936, to Beatrice and Henry LeBlanc. Upon graduation from high school, Mr. LeBlanc broke family tradition and enlisted in the Navy instead of the Army. He began his military career in January of 1956 when he went to basic training in San Diego, California. And whereas he would spend nearly 3 decades serving in the U.S. Navy until his retirement in October 1983, and whereas he was the brother to 16 siblings, devoted husband of Geraldine LeBlanc for 59 years, the father of 4 children, grandfather of 6 children, and great-grandfather to 8 great-grandchildren, and whereas Mr. LeBlanc was a reliable, supportive, and dependable person, he was a stable and steady force, providing guidance, strength, and emotional support to all he encountered throughout his lifetime. He was respected and admired for his unconditional and unwavering commitment to the Navy and his loved ones. He also was affectionately known as the Rock of the Family. And whereas we acknowledge Mr. George Ellsworth LeBlanc and recognize his commitment to his family and the United States of America, his presence in the community will be truly missed, and he will be remembered fondly by those whose lives he touched. Now, therefore, we, the members of the Board of Commissioners of Rockdale County, do hereby proclaim Tuesday, November 14th, 2023, in Rockdale County as Chief Warrant Officer George Ellsworth LeBlanc Remembrance Day. In witness whereof, we have hereunto set our hands and caused the official seal of Rockdale County to be affixed on the 14th day of November 2023 and signed by Oz Nesbitt Senior Chairman, Sherry L. Washington, Commissioner Post 1, and Doreen Williams, Commissioner Post 2.
Danny LeBlanc is here to represent the family, and I think some other family members. Are you all going to join her? Okay, all right, Danny. All right. we've got one that's coming up. Let's give them another round of applause.
Would like to just thank the community for honoring my father with the proclamation. He was very involved on the days that he could be and wanted to be, and he was definitely an incredible veteran. We love the Walk of Heroes. That was his favorite spot. He's taken everybody out there when they came to town. He's got a paver out there, and we will probably celebrate every year of his passing there.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams, and thank you to the LeBlanc family for allowing Chief LeBlanc to be a part of our community. Rockdale County is a better place because of Chief LeBlanc. Amen. Absolutely. Let's give Chief Warrant Officer LeBlanc another round of applause. Moving on, we got more great news this morning, and our CFO, Michelle Arzari, will give us lead us into some more good news, Madam CFO.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. I'm so happy to be up here this morning to talk about the EBO, the Equal Business Opportunity Program overview. I'd like to begin by introducing Mr. Michael Coleman. He's a partner at Thompson Hine LLP. And please. And he'll be joining me. I'm going to go through a brief presentation about the program, and he and I will be happy to field any questions you all might have. Dr. David Corbin is here as well.
Very good.
Thank you. So let's start with the background of the EBO program. The EBO program is the Equal Business Opportunity Program. And I know that the writing is very small, but to tell a story, we want to make sure that Rockdale County has significant economic and community benefits to be gained within the county by promoting, encouraging, and utilizing historically underutilized businesses in the county. This initiative started in 2022, and that was with a review process and an outside party. And we have finally gotten to the point where we want to bring this to the Board of Commissioners. Based on the findings, the Board of Commissioners tasked the executive leadership team with developing a comprehensive set of guidelines, policies, and procedures that would provide a platform for maximizing contracting efforts with historically underutilized businesses. The Rockdale County Equal Business Opportunity, or EBO program, is being created to promote full and equal procurement opportunities for small, minority, and women-owned businesses, veterans, and persons with physical and mental disabilities. We want to extend this to a pool to everyone. Under the proposed EBO program, the county will begin the development and implementation of a strategic and targeted outreach and inclusion program with clear goals seeking to encourage participation of hubs in the county contracting process, stimulating local business opportunity, as well as fostering a platform for economic development. Next slide, please. Now, some of the things to keep in mind. This program does not require or mandate that the county select an unqualified candidate in order to receive the same services. The EBO program simply requires that a fair and open process is used so that historically underutilized businesses have an equal chance. Rockdale County's EBO program is not a race-based program. Outreach and inclusion are the fundamental pillars in the success of this proposed program. The size, scope, and complexity of each project must also be taken into consideration when developing the specific outreach and inclusion plan for the project. Compliance with the Equal Business Opportunity Program is the responsibility of the incentive to the applicant, and you must ensure that the general contractor adheres to the steps outlined within that outreach and inclusion plan. The Board of Commissioners maintain future flexibility to amend or change the target goals and objectives to address future community needs. Next slide, please. These are the major EBO, Equal Business Opportunity Program highlights. As you can see on the left-hand side of the slide, it's the major EBO program categories and the objectives. The EBO utilization goal is no less than 15%. Again, that's the goal, no less than 15%. The minimum project value threshold would be projects in value greater than $250,000. Administrative and reporting would be the responsibility of the finance department, particularly procurement. Certification process would be established third-party entities. And the outreach strategy is the strategic outlook and inclusion plan, which we'll continue on. Next slide, please. Outreach efforts by the county. We've listed a few that we know immediately off the bat are accessible and work. The county EBO officer would be attending trade fairs, hosting business workshops, hosting pre-bid conferences, as well as advertising. Next slide, please. And here are the good faith efforts of the contracting community. I don't want to necessarily read through all of this, but again, we want to be able to recognize historically underutilized businesses and make sure that everyone in Rockdale County has an opportunity. Thank you, and with that, we'll answer any questions. I do want to also let you know that Mr. Michael Coleman has drafted a policy and ordinance for this EBO, which we'd like to get to you all for your review as well as to the public, and we'd like to bring that back to the board to be voted on.
Outstanding. So much to be said about this EBO and the direction that Rockdale County is moving in. I'm going to yield to Commissioner Washington, then I'll come to Commissioner Williams. Commissioner Washington.
Sure. The minimum project value threshold of $250,000, how does that work, and is there a way to lower that?
That is what we have come up with. It began at $500,000. We took it down to $250,000, but we'll entertain any other amounts that the commissioners may be interested in.
I guess my question is, do we know the percentage of contracts that we have are over $250,000 versus under? Because I think we'll have a greater impact if it's under $250,000.
Commissioner, do you have a proposed number?
$100,000.
How much?
100.
I thought you had something in mind. That's why I thought
100, 150, but I'm saying 100.
So let me just say this in the spirit of where we are right now, and yielding to Mr. Coleman. First of all, thank you to the fine work to the finance department, Mr. Coleman and Terminus, who have led this effort, and to Commissioner Williams, who have pushed this envelope forward. I think where we are now with the recommendation coming from the commissioner, there's an opportunity. There's an opportunity for us to go back and revisit those numbers and make sure that the threshold is obtainable, and that's what she's talking about, for as many of our local vendors and entrepreneurs as much as possible when we think about these future contracts. I would suggest that we just kind of put this on hold, give the team commissioner an opportunity to go back and do a little bit more due diligence. I know our CFO has taken note of your recommendation in terms of that number. Commissioner Williams.
But I do want to thank you all for this. This is definitely a step in it's not even a step, it's a gigantic leap forward in making things equitable. And I appreciate all of the hard work and everything that has gone into this. This is something that the community has asked for. This is something that we should be proud of. it is definitely something that leads us in the right direction. I just want to make sure that as many people that wake up every day and pour their hearts and soul into their business can benefit from something like this. That's it.
Absolutely. Commissioner Williams?
So I was just thinking back to that first meeting we sat in room 106 and talked about putting this plan together, and we had at David Corbin's recommendation invited you to come and be with us and work on this because of the fact that you have done this in other communities, and we appreciate that work and your input. We appreciate what finance has done in working on this too. I agree with Commissioner Washington that I think we do need to look at that threshold number and make those opportunities available. But I am just really pleased because what this says to me, first off, is when you're talking about trade shows and trade fairs, this would branch out. This would offer opportunities for the county to be at job fairs for veterans, job fairs for minorities, job fairs for women that we might not have taken advantage of before, and just going to general kinds of things. And I like the idea of the pre-bid conferences. I think that's going to be really key, because if you've not ever done or had a contract with the county, it's a completely different kind of thing. And so people need to know the process so that they can be qualified to provide services for the county. And those opportunities will just really, I'm really excited about it. It really opens up. So thank you so much, Mr. Coleman and Michelle, Director Irizarry. Thank you.
Well, there you have it. I support both of the commissioners in terms of the threshold amount, and I think we can go back and tweak our language and what it says and create that threshold that creates that opportunity, as both the commissioners have talked about. Before I go on, I want to yield to Mr. Coleman. Let me just tell you, Mr. Coleman, Attorney Michael Coleman, is one of Atlanta's regional giants. He's known all throughout metropolitan Atlanta. He has been around for quite some time. This field of expertise is an area that he has mastered. Thank you to the leadership of our financial advisor, Mr. David Corbin, and Terminus for leading us in the right direction. Attorney Coleman, what say you?
Thank you for the opportunity to come and help prepare the ordinance. I know that the enthusiasm that all three of you have had for this project and getting it completed has been inspiring. And hopefully we'll have an ordinance that'll benefit the community for years to come and enable a lot of people who would not otherwise be able to participate in the process to have an opportunity. And we're pleased to have had the opportunity. Thank you.
Mr. Attorney Coleman, don't want to go too deep with dating you, but I do remember you specifically said during the interview that this was going to prick the memory of the heart of former Atlanta Mayor Maynard Jackson, because this was a space and an area that he strongly advocated. You were young and active and robust in that administration. Talk about your memories in terms of equal opportunity for all folks coming from the former mayor.
Well, as hopefully most people know, Maynard Jackson was really the national pioneer of programs of this sort. His efforts in Atlanta to make sure that there was the pie was spread equally are legendary, and they helped transform the city, and I believe helped make the city what it is, and by enabling more people to participate in the process. He was enthusiastic about it. He was known nationally. Many of the other programs that you see now that are throughout the nation, including the federal DBE program, many of the programs, they all emanated from Maynard's efforts. And for those who don't know, Maynard when the airport was being built, he insisted that there be a certain level of percentage of participation, and the business community balked. And Maynard said, okay, no participation, no airport. And there was a stalemate. Eventually, they gave in. The airport came in under budget, and you see what we have there. And again, as I stated earlier, it's transformed the city. And I can't tell you how much I feel benefited from having had the opportunity. I wasn't there when that happened. I came along later, despite Chairman Oz saying I've been around a long time. Not quite that long. So, but I did have an opportunity to work closely with him during his second time as mayor, and he remained enthusiastic about these types of programs. And as you know, they have evolved over time with court challenges and the like. And now, one of the things we've done in this program is to make sure that it casts a broader net than simply based on race. That's important because race-based programs have come under tremendous scrutiny, and this is one that appeals to a much broader range of potential businesses. And hopefully it'll be one, as I said earlier, that'll be around for a long time and help benefit this community. And again, thanks to you all for the inspiration you provided and your enthusiasm for this program.
Attorney Coleman, thank you for being a pioneer paving the way for Rockdale County. This movement, and as Commissioner Washington so eloquently stated earlier, this is major. This is major for Rockdale County. For multiple years, it's been talked about. Once again, this board has pulled the trigger and executed and implemented in a major way. This sets the tone and the posture for all of those who's considering doing business with Rockdale County. They know as they enter the county, they have to include in their language up front opportunities for minority participation, and that we set the tone for everybody who's out there, and particularly at this level and this particular threshold, to know that the door is open and Rockdale County is open for business, and we have opportunity for everyone to sit at the table. Let's give Attorney Coleman a round of applause. Thank you, Madam CFO. Thank you, Attorney Coleman. Thank you, David Corbin and Terminus, for your leadership. This is a big, big deal for Rockdale County. Director Mims, I'm not sure if you've already gotten ahead of the game. A lot of times you're so far ahead of me, but if you've not already put pen to paper and put together a press release, this is certainly newsworthy. This is press release worthy for the folks in Rockdale County to let them know that we are opening up the floodgates of opportunity and equity here in the county. And Madam CFO, we look forward to hearing back from you in a couple of weeks as you circle your way back through to both Commissioner Washington and Commissioner Williams. I mean, what a way to start a meeting. A lot of good news on a very high note, positive note, a lot of great things happening in our community. But not to prolong our agenda this morning, Executive Director Rutledge, it's now time for item number 4. Commissioners, the approval of the agenda. What is your pleasure?
I move to approve the agenda as published.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please. Approval of the minutes from October the 24th, 2023 and November the 7th of 2023.
I move to approve the minutes as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item number 6 is unfinished business. Executive Director Rutledge.
Yes, we have one item under unfinished business. Is item 531. This is 5 various engineering firms for the Transportation Department for 2023 on-call materials and field testing and analysis services. This is a unit price contract for 2 years with option to renew 3 additional 1-year periods, and there are 5 vendors listed below.
So did we verify that there is some minority participation among those 5 vendors?
So on those 5, there is not. However, there is a 6th item from that invitation to bid for general services that was in the some of the, in the consent agenda, and that is a minority business. So it's
Outstanding.
from the
Okay.
same invitation to bid, but a different company.
So tell me how that works with transportation, though.
So
Thank you. I'll try to answer your questions to the best of my ability, and Director Kelly may step in as well. Rockdale County Department of Transportation also uses GDOT's scoring, when they are going through it. So the scoring that they do is based on what's submitted in that proposal, and that scoring is Rockdale County mirrors GDOT's, and there is a DBE element in GDOT scoring.
So, but I'm specifically asking about the company that we identified through General Services. How are they going to be able to take advantage of the millions of dollars that are about to come through transportation as a minority business?
They are for general services. They're contracted with the county for general services.
But not for transportation?
Not for transportation on call.
Director Hammer, come on up and tell us about what's going to happen over in General Services with this opportunity. And while the director is preparing his thoughts, let me say this to the executive leadership staff. Now that we've moved in this direction, the question, in fact, this shouldn't be a question anymore. We need to have this answer already prepared, each and every contract moving forward. The board has made a decision, so that we need to already have this prepared going forward. I think there will be some detailed questions that could possibly follow in the days ahead. But now that the board has made a decision to move in the area of EBO and making sure that we create an opportunity for everyone to sit at this table in Rockdale County, is something that we've not been used to. It's happening now. In fact, it has happened. So going forward, let this be a blanket statement to all of you all in terms of our leadership staff. Let's be prepared. Let's make sure that we're in position so that we can respond. Now, Director Hammer, you have a direct opportunity here to talk about the minority participation from this, and I think this really lines up exactly with what Commissioner Washington is speaking about. Tell us about it this morning.
Okay. Good morning, and I hope I can answer your questions. I'll do my best, and then Director Kelly can fill in anything that I can't. Whenever we put out public bids, there are certain requirements that General Services uses just for general testing requirements. Transportation has much more specific requirements through GDOT, so all the firms have to be certified with certain GDOT certifications. Whenever we do the evaluations of those, then they're all ranked and they're qualified or not based on how many of the certifications that they meet. So when we went through this process, we chose 6 total projects. 5 of them met all of the GDOT certifications, and there's a big long list, and it's very detailed for, do you have certifications in environmental and roads, bridges, structural, trails, pedestrians. They have a very long list of those. And so from the transportation standpoint, again, not speaking for Director Kelly, but they're looking for firms that can meet all of the different requirements. So they chose 5 that met all of the requirements and had all of the certifications for their vast array of transportation projects. And then there's 1 that meets a good portion of the GDOT certifications. They might not have every single certification on there. So transportation is looking at it a little bit different than we are. We're looking at it more general. We don't have the same projects that transportation does. So we'll be able to use a good portion of these, both for general services as well as for possibly for some transportation projects. So hopefully that.
Well, let me say this, and Commissioner, because I'm really hearing what she's saying this morning. I don't want to miss this. So as I'm talking to Director Hammer, I'm also talking to all of our directors and to our executive leadership team. I want you to hear this. Let's not hang our hats on what GDOT has in place. What I'm hearing from the commissioner is she's asking that we take a deeper dive and search high and low to make sure, because here's what we're talking about. We're talking about the fact that we're in metropolitan Atlanta. Throughout this entire region, there has to be people, particularly minorities, that will fit into these contract opportunity as we stretch high, wide, and low. I think GDOT has a fair and equitable practice that's a part of their policy But let's not limit ourselves to that, because what we've now done, we've opened up the door for opportunity in Rockdale County, and that's what she's saying. We hear you about what GDOT is doing, but let's not stop there. Let's make sure that we do all of our due diligence as much as we possibly can to search high and low, because this will not be the only Tuesday that this question will come up. And we need you to be able to answer that you have done everything you can to search high and low, particularly, and I'm hoping that people all over Rockdale County, that's why I mentioned to Director Mims about getting a press release out there, because I want folks to know. I want all the local clergy to put this out. We're moving in a whole new direction. And for quite some time, it's going to be new, because guess what? It's new to Rockdale County. So we've got to educate and inform, and we've got to communicate. Commissioner, having heard the information from Director Hammer, I'm satisfied, but I want to make sure your questions have been completely answered according to your liking.
My questions are answered.
Okay. Any more comments you'd like to make?
No, I think I think that everybody's heard me and we're clear moving forward, but I'm still.
Thank you so much. Very good. And thank you, Director Kelly, as well. All right, I think we're clear, and I think Commissioner Williams, you were...
I move to approve these contracts as presented.
It's been properly motioned and second.
You have
No
to
second yet.
I'm not second.
You're not second? I second the motion. It has been properly motioned and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion's carried. Next item, please.
Is the commissioner, are you opposed? Thank you.
Next
One
item, please.
opposed. Okay. Would be the consent agenda.
Okay, we're moving on to item number 7 on our consent agenda.
I move to approve the items on the consent agenda as listed.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions regarding the items on the consent agenda? Been properly motioned and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
All right, so we're down to the regular agenda, and the very first item that we have is at item 538. This is a notice of the public hearing. This is for the capital improvements element. What we will do right now is open this up for a public hearing for anybody who might have comments on the proposed capital improvements element. I will go ahead and read out the heading for the hearing, and then we will pause and see if there are any comments.
Absolutely.
So notice of public hearing. Notice is hereby given that a public hearing shall be held at the Rockdale County Assembly Hall located at 901 Main Street, Conyers, Georgia 30012 on Tuesday, November 14, 2023 at 10 a.m. before the Rockdale County Board of Commissioners to consider a resolution transmitting a draft capital improvements element 2023 annual update report to the Atlanta Regional Commission for regional and state review per the requirements of the State Development Impact Fee compliance requirements adopted pursuant to the Georgia Planning Act of 1989. Said public hearing will be in accordance with the Section 9A of Chapter 110-12-2-.04 of the State of Georgia's Development Impact Fee compliance requirements. Any persons wishing to be heard on the draft capital improvements element 2023 annual report update are invited to attend. So I will pause right now to see if we have anyone signed up to speak about the report. All right.
I'll let the record reflect that none came forward.
And then the next item will be the actual transmittal resolution. That is the capital improvements element 2023 annual update for Rockdale County, Georgia. That is before you this morning.
Commissioners, this is a practice that we participate in annually each year. What is your pleasure?
I move to approve this resolution as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item, please.
All right, so the next item is item 571, a resolution urging the governor and Georgia Assembly of Georgia to continue efforts to reform and improve mental health services for the citizens of Georgia.
I move to approve this resolution as presented.
Yes.
I second that motion.
It has been proudly motioned and proudly
Duly
seconded.
noted.
Yes. Are there any comments?
Well, I think I talked about this last week, the fact that Commissioner Henry Craig from Baldwin County is the president of ACCG this year. And this is his signature project, to get all 159 counties to pass this resolution asking the governor for additional funds, for training programs, for services available statewide for those who need mental health services. And so I'm excited that we have joined that group of counties, and he intends to get all 159 counties, and I promise you he will.
Yes.
Because there was, things got stalled last year for a number of different reasons, and some of them, I think what will come out of that is that there'll even be the bill will be refined and be better. But that House Bill 520 provides the funding, and it provides the accountability to insurance companies and to service providers that needs to happen. The House Bill 1013 a year ago provided for insurance parity. Not one insurance company has changed their policy because there's been no accountability for them. And so this would put the teeth into it so that, yeah, they really do have to provide the same kind of insurance services for mental health as they do for physical health. So.
It's been properly motioned and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 573 is an ordinance to make and provide appropriations for the period beginning January 1st, 2024 and ending December 31st, 2024, to make and provide such appropriations for the operations of the Rockdale County government, its departments, boards, and other agencies and funds, including all elected county officers and their employees, to provide for the control and administration of all funds of such agencies and all sources, to provide an effective date, to repeal conflicting ordinances and resolutions, and for other purposes. This is submitted for a first reading.
I move to approve the first reading of this ordinance as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 574 is rezoning case 2023-01, an ordinance to amend the official zoning district map of Rockdale County, Georgia as amended by rezoning Southeast Salem Road from SRC NC Salem Road Corridor Neighborhood Commercial District to SRC MXD Salem Road Corridor Mixed Use Development District, to impose conditions upon the property, to repeal conflicting ordinances, and for other purposes. This is submitted for a second reading.
I move to refer this ordinance back to the Planning Commission as has been requested.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions?
So I would like to comment. This is one that had the gas station as one of the, this is one of them. And so
Director Njoku, would you like
right, she's saying yes.
Yeah, I see.
So I just wanted to talk about the, what I would say, proliferation of gas stations and those type of retail establishments in the county. I don't think any one of our citizens or anybody passing through has ever stopped and said, we couldn't find a gas station and we need another gas station in this county. Developments with the gas station element, that is it brings a certain image to the county. I would like for us to start really thinking about what we're doing for the future of this county, especially when we're looking at Salem Road and there's so much opportunity for nice office space, which is something that we need. A mixed-use development that does have retail on the bottom and office space on the top. But when you add the gas station element to it, that kind of cheapens the whole effect. And I would like for people that are looking to develop in this county to start thinking about what we need and not just what they need to make money. And so I'm gonna go anything that has a gas station element. I'm not gonna be in support of, and I hope that when developers come to the planning department, they would say those things, because it's going to be very difficult to get it through. I know they get their votes, but I think that we should start thinking about the future of the county and what it looks like, and what kind of development do we really need, especially on Salem Road, when they are going to it's going to widen. What does that look like in a few years if we just allow gas stations and think those gas station retail type developments to come through? So that's where I am.
And thank you, Commissioner. Thank you for all of that. I do want to ask, just as a point of clarity and clarification, because I certainly hear your passion, and I've also heard from a few other citizens along the same mindset that you have. But I want to ask this question. Are you saying in a general sense that you will remain open-minded to hear the different types of proposals or projects, or are you actually saying that you're not entertaining any component of development that has a gas station piece to it?
On Salem Road, I can't. Where is there not a gas station right now on Salem Road?
Right.
So and then we have so many different needs on Salem Road and different ways that we can take the trajectory of the county in a different level. Now, if you're talking to me about if you go out Georgia 20 my way, if you're going towards Gwinnett County, they need a gas station over there.
Well, when I say Salem Road, I'm really talking about the Salem Road corridor, the whole area, and not just Salem Road itself. When I think about some of those surface roads like Flat Shoals that pull off, and there's some new development in some of those areas. I
would think that they could make it, if you don't have enough gas to make it to Salem Road, to get some gas, if you off of Flat Shoals, then you might need to do some better preparation. I am not, that whole corridor, and that's why we need planning, visionary planning and studies. And when we do the studies, or I forgot what we call them, but when we do the visionary things of what could those things, what this area could do, those are why we need to have those
comprehensive and strategic planning,
right, for that area. And that way we can see, okay, well, we don't need all these gas stations because there are 10 right here. So I'm not debating. I just wanted to find out, did you have an open mind to entertain opportunities on a case by case basis? I'm certainly not in a position to make a blanket statement and say I'm not going to entertain it all. I want to see them on a case by case basis, know where they're located, and then make a real decision from there. I agree that Salem Road has a good number of options and opportunities for people to get fuel. However, I want to remain open-minded because I just said a moment ago that Rockdale County is open for business. Now, Director, Commissioner Williams, any thoughts on this?
Yeah. So as we move forward, if we change this from the neighborhood commercial district to the mixed use development district, I picked up on something that Commissioner Washington said about a vision, almost like a concept plan for how the county will look down that corridor. If we have something like that in place, does that encourage developers and business people to look at the plan and see what we're looking at and what we would like to see? Because that might be the way to go, is to get that concept plan developed so that we know what we have, we know what we need in the whole, Salem corridor, and move forward that way.
And that's exactly what Commissioner Washington is pointing out. She said, let's not be vulnerable to developers coming in here telling us what they want to do to make money, but let them wrap their minds around our concept, our vision in terms of what we want the trajectory of this community and this county to look like. In talking just last week with Director Njoku and her department and her staff, she gave me an update about what they're already working on. Director Njoku, share some of that update. I think it's going to enlighten both the commissioners about the direction that you're going in. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much, Chairman, and thank you so much, Commissioner Washington, for taking the lead for this conversation, and Commissioner Williams for you highlighting the central point for our department. One of the things that we're doing this year and heading into next year is to take our comprehensive plan and overlay it with an infrastructure plan, meeting it with a housing plan. I know sometimes we want things quick, fast, in a hurry, but we have to bake this cake right because it is going to determine what this county is going to look like as it grows. Those three plans together allows for a concept to be put together where we can have housing districts, we can have separation from package stores, we can look at the placement of gas stations to see if we need more, because we wouldn't want to waste our areas where we might have good infrastructure to build mixed-use developments, to look at grocery stores, to have good schools, to be able to work with transportation for how we get the in and outs, to make sure we have a good route for this area. It's a way for us to start beginning to really formulate what Rockdale County can be as now, not just a part of ARC, but a rural rising suburban county that is looking forward to welcoming its new residents, and also to see the residents that have grown up here stay, and also the residents that have been here age well. We can't answer their questions until we know these three layers of our county currently. We can't use an old plan because Rockdale has, of course, have changed considerably. So those are the things that we're engaging in right now currently. So it's not that you have to wait. We're currently reviewing the infrastructure plan. We're currently looking at consultants for the housing plan, and of course, we've currently, and your commission has already approved the comp plan. So we are in motion to meeting your desired needs for a strategic plan, so that we can put forth information to our developers to say, this is what we want to see for Rockdale 100. We want to see a Rockdale that has this sort of placements, this kind of separation, these kind of housing, this kind of area, so we don't have food deserts and areas that might speak to our aging population to still live, work, and play, and for our rising, growing population that wants to stay here as a viable county to access a workforce.
This is good news that we are headed in the right direction with the leadership of Director Njoku and all of what's currently happening. She said we're not having to wait. This is already happening, Commissioner. This is taking place right now. I have to commend Commissioner Washington for drawing this into question, because we've heard from so many of our residents about the growing concerns of the multiple number of gas stations and fuel stations throughout the county, as well as liquor stores. And I have to agree. We've got to create, and not just create, but we've got to govern ourselves accordingly by a plan that really dictates how many of these types of establishments that we're going to allow in our community, and how we're going to keep ourselves open-minded for other opportunities, as you mentioned, in terms of housing and other retail opportunities, and even matching up with our strategic transportation plan as we navigate the future of Rockdale County. It's good and refreshing to know that we're already moving in that direction. Commissioner, are there any more comments regarding this part?
No.
Commissioner Williams?
Well, yeah, so I just have one more comment. So Rockdale's been around for a long time, so it's not like we can become a planned community, but we can have planned areas within the county. My very first experience with a planned community was when my grandmother, in the very beginning of the development of Mission Viejo in California, bought into that planned community. And I remember as a kid being so impressed, with how it all worked together. Then my daughter lived in the Woodlands, in Texas. That's also a planned community that you know, it looks very strategic on how they've done it. And then, of course, Peachtree City is a planned community.
Mm-hmm.
And there is something about that cohesiveness
Mm-hmm.
that people like, that raises real estate values. And people just, they like that. So I really am interested in what we're doing on the Salem corridor to make that as well developed and planned as we can and cohesive.
Absolutely.
And I really like that word the commissioner used, the cohesiveness and the cohesive ability to work together. And I think it's going to start with where we currently are right now with the Georgia Department of Transportation. I'm excited about what they're finally getting ready to do on Salem Road. That is going to open up the opportunities so that we can build upon going forward. Let them do their work. Let's get Salem Road looking the way it needs to be from Rockdale to Newton. And I can guarantee you, like the Louisiana Cook, we're going to have development and opportunities coming left and right on Salem Road. As I remind the commissioners, unlike portions of Highway 138, and unlike any part of West Avenue that's located in the city, all of Salem Road belongs to Rockdale County until you get to the Newton County line. So we have plenty of opportunity, we have plenty of options, and I think with the Georgia Department of Transportation, as I mentioned, already has a plan about the widening of that road,
Yes.
and they're already moving in that direction.
Yes.
Once that part of the project is completed with the transportation piece and mobility, then opportunities will be able to come and build upon from there. But in addition to that, the director has reminded us, we're not sitting, waiting. They already have a plan in progress. And I think as your plan continue to move forward, continue to tap into the feedback and input from both commissioners,
Yes.
and let's make sure that we're all on the same page. Thank you, Director Njoka.
And I have one more little thought.
Yes, sir.
So as that widening happens, can we take advantage of putting in the 10-foot wide sidewalks and the light poles that are on Sigmund Road and make that match?
Well, that's a good question, but that question is more in line for the Georgia Department of Transportation, who is leading that project. But Director Kelly, you can hear me from over there, can't you? Yes, sir. You can hear me from over there. I don't need you to come up. I just want to make sure you can hear me. Can you hear me? Yes, sir. All right. Well, then that's an opportunity for you to contact our district engineer who represents Rockdale County and share with her all of our insight and concerns about this new development on Salem Road, again, which is led by the Georgia Department of Transportation. We should have about 2% of influence with GDOT to be able to share with them what we vision along the Salem Road corridor. Can I count on you to make sure that contact is made? Those lights, and the credit goes to Commissioner Washington,
Absolutely,
those lights on
yes.
Sigmund Road, let's give her another round of applause. Absolutely. Yes. I mean, it looks good. They look good. And that project is almost complete, which is why Commissioner Williams said what she said. Talk to us.
Well, I was just going to say that, some of the vision for Sigmund Road, if they do, we've started the CID process. That is something that could be done with the CID if they decide that they want to do those beautification, those kind of things, the widening of the sidewalks, things like that are reasons to have a CID because you enhance whatever the vision of the Department of Transportation. So hopefully as we go through the process, that would be something that we can show them, listen, you can go from this to this if you
There's
invest
that
your
word
money.
again, cohesiveness. Two or more entities or two or more persons working together to get a common goal done. I think the opportunities and the possibilities are just grand for Rockdale County. This is good, robust conversation about how we need to move forward. Thank you for your leadership, Director. Where are we at this
We
point?
had a motion and a second to send it back to the
Been
planning
properly
commission.
motioned and second. Good, robust conversation. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 575 is rezoning case 2023-04, an ordinance to amend the official zoning district map of Rockdale County, Georgia as amended by rezoning 2405 Southeast Salem Road, Conyers, Georgia 30094 from SRC NC Salem Road Corridor Neighborhood Commercial to O&I Office Institutional for Commercial Development, to impose conditions upon the property, to repeal conflicting ordinances, and for other purposes. This is submitted for a second reading.
This is the one that is going from, we already approved it to go one way and it's going back.
Just revert it back, yes.
I move to approve the second reading and to adopt this ordinance as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion's carried. Next item, please.
Item 576 is special use permit case 2023-01, an ordinance to amend the official zoning district map of Rockdale County, Georgia as amended, to authorize a special use permit for a 200-foot AGL monopole communication tower and related telecommunication facilities at 2400 Southwest Tucker Mill Road, Conyers, Georgia 30012, to repeal conflicting ordinances and for other purposes. This is submitted for a second reading.
Based upon the criteria listed in Rockdale County Code Section 238-6, I hereby move to deny this ordinance as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly
I third the
motioned
motion.
and second. Let me slow it down a moment. Are there any comments or questions about this particular one?
Absolutely. Normally, it's hard to deny a communication tower. We've been through this before, so we know it. But this one, I don't believe that the county should be put in the position to ratify a contract that they weren't in understanding when they made the contract. And I think that that's what they're asking us to do, is make sure that their contract is upheld. And I don't appreciate being put in that position, and I don't think that we, the county, should be in the middle of their litigation. Now, we might bring our own litigation, but I'm thinking that I don't mind that one for this particular.
Commissioner Williams, any comments on this one?
No, I agree.
All right. So, been properly motioned and
Seconded, yes.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 577 is text amendment case 2023-06, an ordinance to amend the text of section 202-6B2, relationship to comprehensive plan, the table of zoning districts permitted in each land use category of the comprehensive plan, and section 206-5B1, collaborative residential subdivision, applicability of the comprehensive plan, of the Unified Development Ordinance of Rockdale County, Georgia as amended, changing and identifying the future land use categories of the Rockdale County Comprehensive Plan where the collaborative residential subdivision CRS district can be permitted, to repeal conflicting ordinances and for other purposes. This is submitted for a second reading.
I move to approve the second reading and adopt the ordinance as presented.
I second the motion.
Sorry about that.
No problem. It has been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments and questions on this item?
No.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 578 is rezoning case 2023-11, an ordinance to amend the official zoning district map of Rockdale County, Georgia as amended by rezoning 2470 Flat Shoals Road Southeast from R1 Single Family Residential to M1 Limited Industrial, to impose conditions upon the property, to repeal conflicting ordinances and for other purposes. This is submitted for a second reading.
I move to approve the second read and to adopt this ordinance as presented.
This is another gas station? No.
No.
This is which one? I'm sorry.
That's okay. Come on up, Director.
I was out there this morning and looked at it, and it's industrial all around it.
This is an industrial area. They're just seeking to expand their current tree business.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. Okay. I second. It was so many.
Okay. All right.
I know there were.
And thank you for going out there, Commissioner. It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any additional comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 579 is rezoning case 2023-14, an ordinance to amend the official zoning district map of Rockdale County, Georgia as amended by rezoning 0 Flash Hills Road Southeast from SRC CID, Salem Road Corridor Civic Institutional, to SRC MXD, Salem Road Corridor Mixed Use Development, to impose conditions upon the property, to repeal conflicting ordinances, and for other purposes. This is submitted for a second reading.
Commissioners, what's your pleasure?
I move to deny. I move to deny based on the criteria listed in Rockdale County Code Section 238-4. I hereby move to deny this ordinance as presented.
Okay. All right. The motion
Fails.
and we will start with a new motion. Will you just hang tight, Director? Commissioner Williams, what's your pleasure?
I move to approve the second read and to adopt the ordinance as presented.
I second the motion. It has been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Are you opposed?
I'm opposed.
Okay.
Let the record reflect that Commissioner Washington is in opposition. Next item, please.
All right. Item 580 is a special use permit case 2023-04, an ordinance to authorize a special use permit to allow an expansion and upgrade of an existing recycling and salvage facility located at 2314 Dogwood Drive Southeast, Conyers, Georgia 30013, to repeal conflicting ordinances and for other purposes. This is submitted for a second reading.
I move to approve the second reading and to adopt the ordinance as presented.
I second the motion.
Been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Next item, please.
All right, item 581 is a resolution authorizing the Development Authority to proceed with the acquisition of certain land and the staff and professionals to proceed with the financing needed to acquire such land.
I move to approve this resolution as presented.
I second the motion.
It has been properly motioned and second. All in favor say yea.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Nay. Let the record reflect that I'm not voting in favor of this particular one. It has been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions?
No.
All in favor say aye.
I thought we just voted on
We
it.
did that. I just doubled it, didn't I? Okay.
Double vote.
All right, motion carries.
Better than no vote.
Motion carries. All right. Okay, we're clear. The two commissioners voted in favor. The chairman voted against it. All right, very good. Next item, please.
We are down to public comment. Do we have any public comment cards that have been turned in? All right. No, there are none.
Okay, all right, we're gonna keep it moving. We'll go right on into board comment. I'll start with Commissioner Washington.
Want to start out with the Veterans Program that was at Walker Heroes. What an amazing, always inspiring event. And in that regard, I was looking through some photos, some family photos this weekend. My brother asked for a picture, and I found a photo of my granddaddy when he was in Okinawa, on Okinawa Island in World War II serving. Wow. And his sister had special needs, and the photo, he had a handwritten letter to her saying, "Hey sis, this is the best I could do. I look to be coming home soon. Love you, Orville." But you could see the tents in the background, and he was Navy, so he had on his Navy fatigues, and that was poignant because it was right around Veterans Day, and you're always reflective of all the things that everybody does to contribute to this country, and him being away from home and his family during World War II had to be hard on the family and him also. So I just wanted to put those in there, thanking all the veterans, including your spouse, for all of their service, because I say it every chance I get. Some of us have been blessed to go all over the world, and me, I'm always glad to come back home, always. And even though you know, we have our problems in this country. We're still a young country. We're still working it out, but I know we have the best thing going, and it's those that sacrifice their time, talent, and lives that give us these opportunities. So I wanted to say that. Thank you to the veterans and all that have served. And Chief McDaniels, they did do a special thank you to all of the first responders, because they realized that we also have a domestic terrorism and, you know, arsons and things like that. So first responders are always also get a very special recognition also. That being said, let's move to that fall brunch. Whew. I'm still recovering I'll talk about the Jack and Jill, but the fall brunch was nothing short of amazing. They said they're going to do it again in the spring, I think around Mother's Day. You all need to get your tickets now. It was we had a time. Corey Brown outdid himself.
Yes.
He serenaded State Representative Carter, and I thought that we were going to have to pull her off the floor.
Y'all took over the show.
I don't know it. I was laughing, but it was a good time. Gorgeous decor, gorgeous. The food was phenomenal. Even the non-alcoholic drinks, Commissioner Williams, were greatly decorated, so you felt like you could be possibly drinking something that was non-alcoholic. It was a good time had by all. Once, like I said, you know, I can't imagine anybody having a better Parks and Rec department, because the events that are done by Park and Rec are always stellar. So I told them, but please tell them again, that was an outstanding event. I had the opportunity to attend the Jack and Jill of America chapter, the East Suburban Atlanta chapter of Jack and Jill of America. They had their children's ball, their annual children's ball, and the proceeds go to support the children's units at Rockdale and Newton County Hospital. Of course, their NICU. Of course, everybody who's been with me for the last 5 years knows that KJ was a preemie, and we have special. We appreciate everything that was done at Rockdale County NICU. But when I tell you they had a time, I felt like I came home from a homecoming, because they danced, and of course, somebody told me that I was in the dance battle against the children. That might be filmed, but that great time. Once again, our district attorney was the chairman of that committee. When I tell you, they had elephants coming up to the windows. They had, it was just amazing. Caricatures, face painting, candy bars.
Wait a minute. You just said they had elephants?
They had the elephants. It was at the zoo. I'm sorry. Let me start there. It was at the zoo.
Clean this up.
Might want to start with that part.
It was at the zoo, and they had the elephants come up to the window so that the children could see. They also had a little armadillo that KJ loved. The armadillo walking in a little container. They had I don't want to talk about it. But anyway, it was amazing. DA Johnson did an amazing job. And like I said, the proceeds for that went to the NICU, or the children's centers in Rockdale County and Piedmont County. Super excited once again about the EBO policy. I think that's us putting our money where our mouths are. Like I said, we mentioned Maynard Jackson, but when you think about the millions of dollars, we have $100+ million budget. We have to make sure that the money also is distributed to minorities or disadvantaged businesses. We have to, I think it's incumbent upon us, because we stand on shoulders that paved the way for us to be able to do that. And then I know I've been dogmatic about the transportation, but when you think about all the money that's going to be coming through the transportation department, we have to make sure that we are are feeding those people that we're educating, those people that support us. So that's that. This Saturday at is it Wheeler Park or Restoration Storehouse? Where's the food giveaway? At Restoration Storehouse, there's a food giveaway for the Thanksgiving holiday. It is from 10 to 2, do you know? 10 to 2 on this coming up Saturday. So if you know anybody in need, or if you want to make a contribution, it will be this Saturday at Restoration Storehouse. Finally, Thanksgiving, that is my favorite holiday. And I know you said that it's the season for giving, but I think it's the season for giving gratitude. We are so blessed in this country, in my house and your houses. We have to give thanks to the Creator and everybody who allows, who gives of their time and talent, especially in this community when we have so much talent and opportunity to grow. So always remember, you need to give thanks for all of the blessings we have, because we are truly blessed and highly favored, especially on this board, in this community, and then give back to those that may need a hand up this holiday season, because by being blessed, you have a responsibility to also be a blessing. And that's all I have.
All right, you touched my heart there, Commissioner. You really went there, absolutely. Commissioner Williams, what say you?
Well, I'll start with the veterans event too, and it's funny because, on a Saturday morning, I did not want to get up and go out. It was cold, it was rainy, and I really didn't want to go. But I knew I needed to be there, so I forced myself to go. And by the time I got home, I said to my husband, I am so glad I went. Because it so reminds me of the dedication and the sacrifice that our veterans have made and our current military does. The speaker, and I can't remember his name, I remember he was a brigadier general, but he talked about, at the very end, he talked about an aspect of the veterans, and that is the people at home. Mm-hmm. And so it brought back to me all these memories. We'd been married, we got married the end of July, and John left in December and was gone till the next July. And he was in the Navy on a cruise off the coast of Vietnam. And I remember, I didn't know anything. And I remember him saying, I'll be home, I'll be okay. But, you don't know. And then as different conflicts come up, he happened to be there at the evacuation of Saigon. And they brought some of the those who were evacuating Saigon onto his ship. And then there was an incident a week or two later in the with the Mayaguez incident that isn't as well known, but it diverted them from coming home by several weeks to go manage that event and they took on wounded Marines from that event onto their ship, turned the mess hall into a hospital. And so, I have all these memories that come flooding back, and the fact that he still has suffered through some PTSD, has still receives all of his care from the VA center in Atlanta. My life has been entwined with the military, even though he was only in for 4.5 years, and we were only married probably 1.5 years of that last time. But I thought about, okay, so I am the great granddaughter of a veteran, the daughter of a veteran, the daughter-in-law, a sister-in-law, an aunt of a veteran, and of course a wife of a veteran. And so military kind of just has enveloped my family, and it's just part of life. And it's amazing to me when I think about the small percentage of people who serve in the military. And so I'm glad to see that veterans were part of that EBO policy, because they really are a small minority, but they really bring skills and discipline and experience that from their experience in the military. So the second thing was I wanted to thank Mr. Coleman for working with us so diligently on creating this EBO policy that draws on his many years of experience. He mentioned that a number of these policies previously have been litigated in court, and so now, you know, they have a template almost to know how to do this fairly and equitably so it doesn't land up in court. I think the piece that I am really particularly interested in is not just the opportunity for these companies to have contracts with the county, but the education piece is so key to how to become qualified to become a vendor with the county and to apply on different bids. Because I mentioned earlier, it's a different process and it's very entailed, but I really am interested and want to make sure that those educational components happen. My last thing is just the announcement I made last week, reminding people that November 21st is Turkeys and Testimonies, sponsored by Grit and Grace at 1400 Parker Road. From 2 to 5 will be the turkey giveaway, and from 6 to 8 is a banquet. Both of those are free. You do need to register on Eventbrite for the banquet, but this is an opportunity for those in recovery to support each other, and for those who are not in recovery to support those who are. So I would encourage you to even just stop by. Those are my comments.
All right, Commissioner Washington, any thoughts been provoked?
One more. The East Metro Business Network today has our networking event. It's from 6 to 9 at the Juicy Crawfish on Highway 138. And today's guest speaker is Dr. Oates.
All right.
That's
all right.
it.
Very good, very good. Well, my cell phone died, and I usually try to give a courtesy alert to a few of our directors. I'm monitoring the time, but I have a couple of announcements, and I'm asking for just a few updates. I'm going to start with Chief McDaniel. As I come on up, Chief, as I'm talking, as I pass by the up-and-coming fire station number 10,
I know,
Chief
coming
McDaniel
along.
looks like they are ahead of the game down there. I mean, that place is really coming together. Can you give us an update?
Absolutely. As you see the frames, I mean, you ride by and it's like, okay, this is really coming together. So we're still looking at a deadline of around May of next year. It was June, July, but I think the way we're moving, we're looking at maybe May, hopefully, Director Hammer. You see how my Director Hammer, but probably June, but it is coming along, no problems thus far. The neighborhood, everybody's working well together, so we're really excited about it.
All right. Well, listen, I just thought I'd get an update from you because they are ahead of schedule, and that's always good, commissioners, when we see any particular construction project that's a little bit ahead of schedule. And I don't think they're a little bit, they're a lot ahead of schedule. You referenced the difference between May and June, I think you said.
But that's Director Hammer.
Director Hammer. Well, that's a perfect segue. Thank you, Chief, because I'm calling up Director Hammer next. Come on up, Director. There's been a lot of movement here on our campus. Our tax assessor's office, as well as our Department of Transportation, has made a move in a temporary transition. Your department is always at the forefront. We call you guys the Marines now. Tell us about you and your department and getting these two different departments moved into our main campus.
That is appropriate for Veterans Day, isn't it?
Yes.
We are the Marines. We're the first in, the last out, and we get all the dirty jobs. That's what I say. So, yes, we've had some fantastic movement. In preparation for all the improvements we're going to do downtown, we've moved both the talent management and the tax assessor's office. They're both located at 981 Millstead, and they're now located in the administration building at 958 Millstead. They're both on the first floor. If you go in the front entrance, you go left to go to talent management, you go right to the Board of Assessors office.
Now that you've made these moves, tell us what's next. What can we expect regarding the vacant building that's been left over there?
Well, we are moving expeditiously. We've contacted our small unit price contractors that are under contract, and we're looking to get quotes on that. And with any luck, we'll be coming forward, hopefully maybe at the next meeting, to have a requisition to demolish those buildings. We'll scavenge as much as we can out of the buildings. We always remove everything we can. Any furniture that's in good shape, network equipment, infrastructure, anything that we can reuse. We're very good at that. So we'll take all of that out before we remove the building. We'll demolish that to make way for the new buildings to come.
I always get excited when you use the word expeditiously, because that tells me that you're going to be moving and making haste as you move. So we're excited about this progress, Commissioners. This is truly progress. Although talent management and the tax assessor's office have moved, and I'm describing this because it is a temporary location as we make way for the bigger project in Rockdale. Keep up the good work, Director Hammer. Next up is Director Redmond. You've just got a few more projects that are up and coming throughout this fall as we transition right on into the winter months. I think you've got a project that's going to take place on Wheeler Road out at Wheeler Park. Is that right?
Yes, sir. The Autumn Festival is this Sunday from 12 to 6 p.m. Car show, live music, fun and games, food vendors. So it is right as school is letting out for the holiday break. So it's a good start to everyone to start celebrating Thanksgiving. So we'll be at Parker Road, as you said, 1400 Parker Road. Last year we had a very big turnout. This year we're expecting an even larger turnout from all the likes and everything that we've seen on Facebook. So
anything different, especially you added this year from last year?
We have live music. We have a couple of more like climbing walls and things of that nature. More things for the kids zone, I would say. Okay. So we've increased that area a little more. So we're looking for a big turnout. It's an all-day event, as you can see. So looking for a nice family turnout.
Outstanding. Before you take your seat, now, Commissioner Washington, and I was there as well, the Sunday brunch was a fabulous event. But of course, we still hear a few rumblings of people not knowing that we're having these events. Yes, and I heard you in a healthy debate on yesterday. Can you tell us where can folks find the information? Why are so many people, or a few people, should I say, are still missing the alert message about all of these events that we're having in Rockdale County, particularly coming through Parks and Recreation?
It's a great question. To answer that, I can say that we post all of our events on Facebook. They're on the county website. They're on the calendar for the county website. They're on our Instagram page. So really just encourage people to tap in, try to follow us as closely as possible to see what's going on. It is, we do not have a media outlet to shoot information out. So that is our biggest means of getting information out into the public and to let everyone know what's going on with us.
Our media outlet is Channel 23 and all of our platforms. You was referencing the fact that we don't have a local news station.
We don't have an Atlanta media news station. My apologies. You're correct. Sorry. Absolutely. Trying to insult you there.
You should have seen the way she was looking at you.
I did not say that correctly.
The way she was looking at you.
I appreciate the chairman help on that one.
You should have felt her looking at you. Absolutely. I'm just trying to look out for you.
Thank you, sir. One more announcement. We will have and I know we haven't quite gotten to Thanksgiving yet, and my mom raised me not to look past Thanksgiving to get to Christmas. However, I just do want to put this out since you made that comment and people are having a hard time kind of keeping up. We will have a toy giveaway on Saturday, December 9th. This is hosted by Grady Jarrett of the Atlanta Falcons. It will be from 2 to 6 p.m. at Johnson Park Recreation Center. We have not put the flyer out just yet because we are still working with his team to work out a couple of logistics. But I do want to put the date out and the time out and just let everyone be aware that this event is coming up in December.
Give us the date and time and location once again.
The date will be Saturday, December 9th. The time will be 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Johnson Park, 1781 Ebenezer Road.
Hosted by number 97 of NFL Falcons, our own local hometown hero, Mr. Grady Jarrett. We're expecting a big crowd. We expect more information from Parks and Rec about this upcoming event. There are going to be a lot of people out there, so we're asking folks to take advantage of getting prepared and paying attention to the announcement coming out of more information about this from Parks and Recreation.
And I was just alerted to include that we will have a petting zoo.
Oh, there will be a petting zoo.
There will be a petting zoo. That was
all right.
Just came straight to me.
Okay, very good, very good. Okay, CG is in the building.
Right.
All right. We made mention, both commissioners talked about the Walk of Heroes and Veterans Day that we just celebrated this past weekend. And I do want to join them and echo the sentiments of saying hats off to our local Walk of Heroes, as well as to all of our local public safety personnel through the county. We want to say thank you to all of them for what they've done and a great program each year when we think about the salute to our local veterans here in Rockdale County. Each year, I'd like to take a moment to give a big shout out to one of our own employees, nestled inside the finance department, our procurement manager, Ms. Tina Malone. She led the way a few years ago with making sure that Rockdale County employees in government have Veterans Day off. So y'all give Tina Malone a round of applause. We have a good number of veterans that are part of our 1,000 people workforce here in Rockdale County, and we certainly salute all of our veterans who serve and work for Rockdale County. But thank you to Ms. Malone for making sure she led the way a few years ago to make sure that we recognize as one of our county official holidays, Veterans Day. Also, I want to call up Director Peak at this time. Come on up, Director Peak. You always ready, Director Peak. You never had that surprised look in your eye anymore. You're always ready. But I want you to give us an update on River Street, not River Road.
River Street.
River Street, over in the Milstead community. While he's gathering his thoughts, let me just remind you that Milstead was established in 1902. The old mill community located in the Callaway Mills area of Rockdale County on the northern side, right behind the Rockdale Hospital. Tell us about what you've done to really bring you and your team. We've had multiple problems in terms of infrastructure in that old historic community. Talk to us about where we are. Give us an update.
Okay, good afternoon, Chairman and Commissioners.
Good afternoon.
On River Street, I won't say Rivers Road. I stay off of Rivers Road, so I get it mixed up sometimes. But on River Street, Chairman, we're in the process of restoring 2,000 linear feet of water main on River Street. Currently, today, we've restored 750 linear feet. 750 linear feet. We've actually pulled out old decapitated water main and we've replaced 750 linear feet. So we're just about at half of that particular project, halfway to completion of that particular project. Now, this particular project, River Street, has been a problem for a long time, for years. And I found that out once I got here. So once we get this new water main in on River Street, we know DOT going to come in and they're going to restore the roadway. So we'll have new infrastructure on River Street once this particular project is complete.
Well, I really appreciate this update, and so does the folks that live in that community. We hear from them about at least once a week between myself and you, getting a text message about what's going on over there. The community has felt for many, many years, commissioners, that in so many ways that they've been neglected. We have made certain that we have shine the spotlight on the Millstick community. It is one of the, if not the oldest community that's a part of the history and the heritage of Rockdale County and the city of Conyers as a whole. I'm excited that we're finally able to go in there and not do patchwork, but to really repair and replace. Is there any guesstimate? I don't want to back you up against the wall, but is there a guesstimate of timeline when the project will be completed?
Probably, we suspect the expectation is for this project to be completed maybe the end of first quarter of next year.
Okay.
End of first quarter of next year.
Well, I think that's fair. I think that's a fair expectation or anticipation, considering the fact that the problem has lingered for many, many decades over there. And this time, commissioners, the work that our infrastructure teams are doing between the Department of Rockdale Water Resources as well as our transportation department, we're not patching anything up. We're replacing and bringing it up to code and to standard. And this is really going to enhance that community in multiple ways. Those homes are really, really old, and the community is old. They deserve all of the time and attention that we can give them and the resources that Rockdale County should provide for that community, and we're doing it. And I'm really, it was a few years ago through SPLOST, thanks to our folks who serve on our SPLOST committee, through SPLOST and Parks and Recreation, that both the Grimes Street Park as well as the splash pad in the park at the old Frank Smith pool in the Millsdale area, which is now a splash pad that is highly used during the spring and summer months. We started with the upgrade there, and it really has enhanced that community. This is going to take it to a whole different level.
Absolutely.
We're going to be calling on you more as we get into 2024 for a more update as we move down the road. This is really good news for the folks over in Millsdale.
All right.
Thank you,
Sounds
Director.
good. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You guys know I started off talking about this is a season for giving, and it is. It's exactly that. We're coming up on our Thanksgiving Day holiday, and I was corrected in my number of years. This is year number 14 that we've done the annual senior citizen turkey drive. No, 15. This is year 15. I'm still getting corrected. This is year 15 that we've done the annual senior citizens turkey drive. And let me say this, I'm going to call up our coordinator for the 2023 drive. She's going to give you even more information, but let me just tell you, each year we put out basically a plea because seniors are on a fixed income. And there are a lot of them who are really stuck taking care of their grandchildren. This bird, this turkey means a lot. It is the most expensive part of the meal. Our very own Stacy Bonner Lewis is the 23. Y'all give her a round of applause as she's coming up. Ms. Lewis, we're going to hear from you in a moment, but I just want to tell them really who you are. She's well connected in the community. She has a lot of inroads with fraternities and sororities and all of these groups and churches. And I think, Stacy, you know everybody. And she has a passion for the young people and getting them involved. So this year we're going to have even more young people giving. That's a different side of the counter for young people. They usually have their hand out receiving, but this year is all about teaching our young people to give. Ms. Bonner, Ms. Lewis, tell us where we are with this project. Where are you with the number of turkeys? Talk to us.
Okay, good afternoon, Chairman, Commissioner Washington, Commissioner Williams. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited and honored to serve this year as the project coordinator. This is really near and dear to my heart. I think about Thanksgiving, I think about my grandparents and being at the table with them eating Thanksgiving dinner, afterwards watching the Cosby Show. So this is really dear to me. This year we need 3 things. Okay, I need turkeys. And I've been over at the Senior Citizen Center, Olivia Haydell, been dropping off turkeys. And the seniors in there are there, they're playing bingo, they're eating lunch together, and when they see me, they act like they've seen me for a while. When I'm getting my turkey, I'm like, hold on, we're gonna bring your turkey. So turkeys will be given out on Sunday, which is November the 19th at 3 p.m. at the Olivia Haydell Center. So we need 3 things. First of all, we need turkeys, which I've stated. You can deliver them at Conyers Ford as well as the center. And if you need to, you can call me. I don't mind picking them up from you. I need the turkeys. And number 2, this year, I need the youth. I really want youth to give back to grandparents. I want them to be the turkey ambassadors. So they're going to be giving turkeys to our seniors as well as a message to them this coming Sunday. So I need the youth, turkeys, and I need our seniors to come on out that day and pick up their turkey. We will have plenty of turkeys for them. And so I'm excited, and I need your turkeys and any youth, any teenagers that want to volunteer, please come out. It's going to be for volunteers to come out on Sunday at 1 p.m. So we need you to come out. You will get hours of volunteer community service credits that you do need. But this will be a great time for you to give back to grandparents.
Ms. Lewis, you have done an excellent job this year leading this initiative. Courtesy Ford is our platinum sponsor in terms of our primary location for the drop-off. You can also drop your turkey off over at the Olivia Haydell Senior Center located at 1240 Dogwood Drive. But I want to go back through, stay there a moment. I want to go back through those 3 things that she mentioned. Number 1, she needs turkeys. That's right. She needs turkeys. Absolutely. And let me just park the car there for a second, because each year we get lots of calls, and Ms. Lewis told me just yesterday, she said, Chairman, everybody want to volunteer. She said, but I need turkeys. So hear ye, all volunteers. We need your help, but we need you to walk up with a turkey in your hand. Certainly we want you to volunteer. We want you to bring a turkey along with you. But this year is going to be different because she's putting a lot of emphasis on the second request, youth. And she called them turkey ambassadors, teaching the young people how to give back, how to be a part of community service. We get so many calls and requests, commissioners, from parents at the end of each school year asking that the chairman's office pen a letter in reference to community service for their young people who are transitioning into college. They need to show that they participated in some level of community. Well, I don't write letters that lie like that. So if your young person is not contributing and they're not volunteering and giving back, I'm not going to pen a letter saying that they've created a certain number of hours. But we've created an opportunity so that they can get some community service hours and become a turkey ambassador this Sunday. Now, to clear up the confusion, 1 o'clock is the time for your volunteers.
My volunteers.
At 1 o'clock.
At 1 o'clock.
And let me say that real slow.
Right, and really at 1 o'clock.
Yes, ma'am.
It's more so for the youth, for the teenagers to come. However, the adults can come about 2:30, and the turkeys will be given out starting at 3 p.m.
Okay.
So seniors, please come out at 3 p.m. We want to get ready for you. However, at 1 o'clock, I want the youth to come out because we're going to have a conversation, a little program, and get everything organized in a timely fashion for the 3 o'clock delivery.
I like your brand new plan of logistics and operations this year. I want to be very clear because for the last 15 years now, these seniors have a line wrapped around Dogwood and Taylor Street. They're already going to be lined up. There will be cars everywhere. So let me say this again. I want to be very clear because I don't want to confuse folks and don't want the Conyers Police Department ticked off at us for about tying up traffic out there. So at 1:30 Is that what you said?
1 o'clock for
1
our
o'clock.
youth to come.
For the volunteers, the word I want to get out is volunteers at 1 o'clock. She's going to educate you about the whole process. She's going to talk about logistics and operations and how this is going to flow. Okay? Any other volunteers that's interested, so you'll know what's going on with this whole new game plan. This is a new plan of logistics this year. So the way we've been doing it, she's changing it up a little bit. Come so you can be educated and informed. Then at 3 p.m., now I already know the seniors going to line up before 3 p.m., but at 3 p.m., that's when we're going to start distributing the turkeys at 3 p.m. Let me tell you, this goes fast every year. At 4 o'clock,
3:30.
the turkeys are over.
Gone.
So this is some of the reasons why folks get there so early. If you're interested in getting a turkey, make sure you get there and get in the lineup. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put this out there too, because this is a big deal. We've been dealing with this every year when we do this. Turkeys are limited to 1 per car. Now, a lot of times folks send other folks to pick up a turkey because some folks are not physically or agile able to come out and be a part of it. All you got to do is communicate that to one of the leaders on the ground. When you're there, let them know. If you're picking up a turkey for Miss Ruby or Mr. Johnson or Miss Jenkins or Miss Lucille, just let somebody know. You pick it up one for them, and we'll be glad to make sure they get a turkey if they're unavailable to come out. This is a big deal. I want to go ahead and say now thank you to all of our volunteers. Thank you to Ms. Marna Lewis for leading this. But thank you to all of our Rockdale citizens. For 15 long years, our citizens have participated in giving back. All of our corporate sponsors who contributed and send numbers of turkeys. And our platinum sponsor, Courtesy Ford, 1636 Dogwood Drive. They've been in this effort with us from the very beginning, and I want to say thank you to them. We want to make sure that we show, as the commissioner pointed out, not just a season of giving, but a season of gratitude and being grateful, because we are all blessed. And it is a blessing to be a blessed. Any lasting points you want to make, Ms. Lewis, about this event?
No, I don't. And other than what you just said, and I want to thank everyone that has already given turkeys. And once again, please donate. Thank you.
Thank you. Y'all give Ms. Marna Lewis a round of applause. Yes. Yes, indeed. We want everybody to have a blessed and a happy Thanksgiving this holiday season. CG, that's what you get for showing up. Come on up here to the microphone and telling us what's going on at Animal Services. You thought you was going to slide out of there. Now, as you coming up, I got a question for you, because he told us about all of the exotics, animals and whatnot they have over at Animal Service, not limited to cats and dogs. What about the Burmese python? You still have the snake over there?
The tarantula.
Yeah,
the tarantula.
The tarantula found a home.
The tarantula found a home.
It did.
On its own, or somebody came and got it?
Somebody came and got it. Look, I would.
Y'all got to be clear when you come up to this microphone.
If it disappeared, I would move out of that office. No, it did find a home. I was actually trying to think of where I could find you some turkeys. Can't promise they'll be plucked and ready, but
there's some on there. Oh my goodness!
I heard that you all have goats, some goats.
Oh, we do. We have
goats.
We do have a diverse community here, so some may want to hunt some turkey.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's
so you
we're
still
running
have
our own petting
the
zoo.
tarantula found a home, and the snake is still there.
It leaves today.
Okay.
It found a home as well.
Someone's coming to get it today.
Someone's coming to get it.
Okay.
Too.
All right.
So where is the goat?
The goats are in our barn area. We have a little small barn area.
In the back of the...
In the back of the shelter, yes, ma'am.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a little small area that we're able to house the horses and things like that when we get them. And so right now we have 2 little dwarf goats that are pretty cute.
Wow. All right. Anything that the general public needs to know about Animal Services?
We will actually be at the Autumn Festival on Sunday with pets in our new adoption trailer. So please come adopt and check out our new trailer. And then we're going to be at the Christmas parade showing off the adoption trailer as well. And we'll probably have some animals riding around in it too. So
All right, very good. Thank you, CJ. Y'all give
right.
CJ Baker a round
Thank
of
you.
applause. Does a great job. Great job leading animal services in Rockdale County. Director Mims, you know there was no way you were going to get off that easy. Come on and tell us about the Christmas tree lighting and how we're doing this in conjunction with what the city of Conyers is doing. Every year people get confused. They get confused. Who owns the Christmas tree lighting? Who's in charge of the Christmas? Can you clear up the confusion?
Absolutely. I don't think it's much confusion. It's a collaboration, a cohesive effort between the city and the county.
All right.
But this year it will be on Friday, December 1st, my birthday. The tree lighting will be on my birthday.
Did you set it up? Hold on a minute. Did you set that up like that?
No, because I will be missing in action.
Okay.
But the tree lighting will be Friday at 6:30, right in front of the courthouse. We are so excited. The city's going to have a lot of activities going on. The flyer will be ready soon. We will have CJ Hicks chorus will be singing a few songs for you, Commissioner Washington, as well as the dance studio. I can't think of the name of the dance studio, but they're going to have some tappers come out this year, and then we'll enjoy the rest of the festivities. And then Santa, along with you all, will hit the lights for the tree.
Outstanding. And then the next day is that the parade?
That is the parade
Okay.
at 2:30, I think.
Okay.
2:30.
All right.
Yes.
Very good. So we encourage people to come out on December the 1st for the Christmas tree lighting, and then of course come on back out the next day for the holiday Christmas parade sponsored by the city of Conyers that we have each and every year. Right before I call up my last director, I want to make mention of something I talked about in our last BOC meeting about the first 2 weeks in the month of November, where the bucks are chasing the does.
Man.
Well, you see the director that we have missing this morning is Director Simpkins. One of the bucks chased him this morning and hit him real good. And he's okay, he's doing fine, but that buck decided to buy a county vehicle.
Oh, wow.
So he sent me pictures of the buck and the vehicle, and it's not a pretty picture. So directors, in the mornings and late in the evenings when it's getting dark and y'all still lingering around the campus, please, ma'am, please, sir, be careful. The bucks are chasing the does, and they're all over the place, and we want to certainly make sure that you're being careful. Now, that was just an example I gave you, and Director Simpkins will be here, but this is not limited to the directors, commissioners, and all of the folks that are listening. It's that time of year that deer are running, and particularly if you travel on 138 or Highway 20 on either the northern district or the southern district of the county, at any given time throughout and during the day, you're subject to run across a deer. They're not limited to morning or evening hours. I just want to make sure you drive with caution. Commissioner Watson.
So I wanted to say that yesterday I was talking to the tax commissioner. We were driving home, and she said, "There's a deer. Oh my God, there's a deer. The chairman said that we need to be careful for these deer." I was like, "Yeah, if he didn't say anything else, we know." And I'm driving 10 miles an hour now because I'm looking for deer. Everybody behind me is mad because I hear the bucks are running and the deers, and that's all I can think about. So if you haven't affected anybody else with that statement, you have affected me and the tax commissioner.
Good.
So I just want you to know that. Now let me knock on wood.
All right. Well, certainly we want people to be careful and be mindful during this time because it can be quite dangerous. When you think of a highway like 138 and State Route 20, those are major state routes, and they could be quite dangerous. And the thing about the animal, the wildlife, they're not going to do what we do, and you can have an encounter. So we're so glad that Director Simpkins is fine. He's fine, and he's going to be just fine. Director Njoko, our Planning and Development Director, come on up. You've got some exciting news to tell us about some of the things that you have going in. Economic development, Commissioner Washington, has been just growing since the beginning of the pandemic here in Rockdale County, and we've made some changes in planning and development. Tell us about those changes.
Yes, we are definitely taking a big focus on economic development moving forward. We've moved some staff around so that we can have an opportunity to work with developers that are working on projects focused on economic development. What we're going to be doing is coming up with a checklist for the prep for economic development. So if a developer is coming to Rockdale County, we will be able to look at your project and come up with the preliminary checks and the things that you need to have in play so that you can move through your permitting process, so that the commissioners, all of you guys, can have a clear view of what the project is looking like. We're going to be working with them to also talk about their impact, so it's something that we can bring back to the residents beforehand for economic development projects that are coming here. So we're very excited about that as one of the things that we're doing in our goal for 2024 to improve upon our processes and procedures, making it more streamlined. The chairman is always talking to us about giving everybody things in their step-by-step. And we want to be able to do that. We want to make sure that we have a 101 process of engaging the community so they know the actual preliminary things they need to do step by step, so everybody's really clear. We want to have smoother projects. We want to be able to show the community what their impact is going to look like. We want to talk about what economic development is going to mean for this county moving forward.
Director, thank you. I'm going to yield to Commissioner Washington. And just before you say this, Commissioner, I want to say thank you to Director Joko and her staff. The report I received from Chief Sanders, this is spot on with the request coming from the commissioners as we engage with our developers. Commissioner Washington.
Thank you. Thank you for understanding how important the process of getting things done in this county is, and how that's one of the things that makes us stand out, is how easy it is to get through the development process. You all know we just approved the contracts with DC Blocks. Yes. Right now we're not at a place where we can tell how great that economic impact is. But I did speak to the Vice President at DC Blocks earlier this week, and yesterday. One of the things he did say was that it was so easy to start the permitting process, go through the process. And Rockdale County has been amazing in getting things done over there. So that is amazing in and of itself, because you know how big that project is. Yes, yes. But just to know that that's going to be our standard from now on, is to make sure that the economic development projects that we are incentivizing and we're working very hard on, have it easy over on this side it's monumental. So thank you for that leadership, Chairman. And I appreciate that, and I'm hopefully that you're working with Mr. Hanna so that you all can have a cohesive process and moving everything forward.
Absolutely. One of the things we're also excited about our planning development is our 2024 theme, which is return to community. Mm-hmm. We're looking forward for each one of our sections to be really more engaged with what we're doing with community and community voices. Mm-hmm. So that's another way of us being able to show that our department cares about what's being said. Since I've been here, I've been at many hearings and many people speaking up about what they're saying and whether they feel heard or not. And we want to put action behind what we've heard by re-educating a lot of people, because some of the things that they're hearing is coming from a place of thought, not necessarily from a place of what's actually going on. We want to be able to give a scorecard, which I'm here to do today, to return back and thank a lot of people, because if I can may segue, it's okay?
Please, go right ahead.
Because I know everybody's ready to go to lunch. But if I can quickly segue right now, a couple of BOC meetings, maybe the last one, we came here and we talked about code enforcement. We introduced the community to our chief, our new deputy director. But one of the things that I think that we're going to work really hard on is coming back when we've done great programs. The chairman has led the way for the war on litter, but the war on litter is never done alone. And I really love the numbers that are coming out of code enforcement and many of the aspects of planning and development, because we're small but mighty. My grand total of my department is about 36 people, 11 or so, given our fill rate, are at code enforcement right now. But their impacts in tonnage and their capacity to reach out to community is significant. And I know that you guys are usually getting the calls when we don't show up, or when something does slip through the crack. But I want this opportunity to really commend Deputy Director Chandler, the team at Code Enforcement for the war on litter. I think you guys will be pretty pleased with this set of numbers, and this is some of the stuff that we expect to continue on. First of all, I want to start off by thanking the 11 departments that participated in this end of the year war on litter: Code Enforcement, Community Improvement, RDOT, Sheriff's Department, Finance, PR, General Services, Talent Management, Rockdale Water Resources, EMA, and Stormwater all came out to join 20 volunteers from the city of Conyers, who also joined us to fight this war on litter. In their achievements, we were able to pick up 2 deceased animals. But however, the big thing is we also were able to pick up a total of 1,660 pounds of litter and debris.
Wow. Wow.
Which is adding to the total that's coming out of the Code Enforcement and Code Enforcement CID team of well over, and I told you before, we're tracking for 124, but well over 100 tons worth of trash and debris that we've taken away to ensure that our county stays beautiful, that the property values stay up, that people have safe places to go, that they're not dealing with litter or trash. And this is just the beginning of the way for us to quantify our impacts to the county and why we're so excited. And how does this tie into why the chairman called me up? Because it ties to our economic development. Rockdale is not only perfectly positioned, but it's a beautiful place to live and a beautiful place to do business. And we want to be a part of that movement to be able to not just sell that idea, but to demonstrate it and show it by the things that we're doing. So I really wanted to commend that team. I really wanted to return back the thank you to the community and to the residents, especially all the people that came out to volunteer. You guys did an amazing job. We look forward to seeing you keeping that momentum moving forward.
Director Njoko, that deserves a round of applause. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes. And I want to take this privilege and opportunity very quickly. Don't take your seat yet. I want to thank both the deputy directors from Planning and Development to stand up, Deputy Director Wheeler and Deputy Director Chandler. Let's give them a round of applause as well. Absolutely. Thank you for the fine work and leadership you all continue to do over there. As the video continues to play, I do want to make mention in reference to her theme. I like that. She says her theme as they're moving forward is return to community. We want to make sure that we're increasing the civic and community engagement all across the county. Now, let me not confuse anyone. We were applauding the efforts and the leadership of our teams and our volunteer staff. We were not excited about 1,666 pounds of trash and debris in Rockdale County. I want to be crystal clear about that. We are sending a message that the war on litter, although we have 2 days, one in the spring and one in the fall, that we highlight and combat as a cohesive team and effort, the war on litter happens each and every day in Rockdale County. It impacts properties and property values, and we're asking all of our citizens to take a part. Don't throw stuff, don't litter, don't trash up our streets, roadways, and our parks and our communities. It really matters, and it says so much about who we are in terms of the cleanliness, the aesthetics, and how we look. I think in one of the things that we were talking about with I was in a meeting with the folks at the Atlanta Regional Commission just last week before staff showed up, and it was pleasantly surprising that the executive director of ARC, Ms. Anna Roach, knew about the replacement fence along the I-20 corridor here in Rockdale County. And I took the privilege to tell her that was an effort between both the county and the city to make certain that we reached out to GDOT and we were able to get rid of that unsightly fence. All of those things matter as we talk about Rockdale County. You're moving in the right direction. This is another pivot toward progress. Let's give Director Njoko and Planning and Development another round of applause.
Thank you so much.
Well, we have had a full morning of very good meeting and some good, robust discussions and updates about what's happening in our community. Don't want to overlook anything. And as we bring this to a close, I'm going to start with Chief Sanders. Chief Sanders, anything coming out of your office that we need to be aware of before we close out this meeting?
I did want to just add to the economic development efforts. In one of our weekly meetings, Commissioner Washington expressed that she wanted more communication with CREDC, and so we actually have the CEO, Kevin Hanna, coming next month to provide you a public update, and then he's scheduled quarterly for 2024, and then monthly starting in January, he'll be meeting and updating me, the CFO, the chief appraiser, as well as Director Peak and Director Njoku on any projects coming so that we can be prepared from the teams.
That's good news. Absolutely. Absolutely. Very good. All right. Executive Director Rutledge, any announcements before I ask you the golden question?
Yes, I have a couple of them. So this Thursday from 10 to 2 over the J.P. Carr Community Center, Senator John Ossoff will have 2 of his caseworkers available for any constituents who might need any assistance with the flyers up here, with any federal agencies or programs such as Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, those types of things. It's walk-in, and they'll be able to see you if you have any issues. And we've got this flyer that they provided to us that we're trying to get out and get the word out in case anyone needs any assistance. The other thing is that the Board of Commissioners will be on recess for the Thanksgiving holidays, and we'll be back for the work session scheduled for December the 5th at 10 a.m.
And then after that,
you'll have a voting session on the following Tuesday, which is December the 12th at 10 a.m. And then after that, Director Mims has been given specific orders for the end of that meeting. I believe it has something to do with confetti, or but that will be it for 2023 until we are back in 2024. So.
Outstanding.
Just wanted to add, county offices will be closed next Thursday and Friday in observance of Thanksgiving holiday.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you for that reminder. And I also want to say thank you to Executive Director Rutledge for bringing, coordinating with the U.S. Senator John Ossoff's office to bring this mobile opportunity to J.P. Carr, to our community. Oftentimes, citizens come into our local meeting with concerns about what's happening on the state and the federal level. Well, this is an opportunity for you to engage with members of his staff that will be present over at J.P. Carr, and we look forward to distributing and circulating the flyer, making sure that it gets out to as many folks as possible.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to reiterate, the senator will not be there himself. I know that sometimes creates a little more fanfare, but this will be caseworkers.
All right, very good. I'm glad you said that,
yes.
Because folks will twist your words in a
yes,
minute. They go over there looking for the senator, and he's not there. Absolutely. Well, but the help and the services and the resources, the senator certainly can't be everywhere.
Exactly.
And he has a team here on the ground in the state, in the district, and that's part of their responsibility.
Absolutely.
So they will be there to entertain any concerns and questions that any of the constituents might have. So that being said, is there any reason for executive session this afternoon?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Ladies and gentlemen, happy Tuesday. Thank you. This meeting is adjourned.